Is rent in Japan one giant scam? Yeah, today we're talking about this 6 month in advance payment up to 6 months. It's a little less, but it's almost. And so when you arrive to Japan, you find a real estate agency and they find you an apartment, for example. So in my case, I didn't have a chance to look at it beforehand. I just agreed to whatever they suggested me, and I don't know, from the couple of options. And so then you need to sign all the papers and stuff, and you will pay a lot of money in advance. And let's pretend you paying 1,000 US dollars in per month. Uh, Easier to calculate that way. And so what you're gonna pay is you always pay just 1 month in advance, and then you're gonna pay 2 months deposit, which theoretically you should be getting back at the end, but you're not getting that back usually. And I will go in a bit more detail later. And then so that's 3,000 already, and then you pay another 1,000 to just real estate agency for their amazing service that they just spend like 10 minutes on you. And then you pay another 1,000. That's already 5,000 altogether for guarantor agency, because in Japan they have this thing where for everything you need a guarantor, and usually historically it's supposed to be your family member, but since you don't have any family in Japan, probably you will not have it. So there is a special company which can be your guarantor. And theoretically, if you do something stupid or you disappear, the landlord will bother this guarantor company to, you know, to sort out the issues. And then, so that's 5,000, right? And then you will pay insurance money, which in my case was around 500, I think, which is, you don't need that, but you cannot opt out of that. And that's already 5,500. And you might have some extras on top of that. Like sometimes you need to pay more for a guarantor because they will check you, and there will be even something silly, almost guarantor will want a guarantor for them, which doesn't make sense. And if you move out, so this is gonna be 2 month, 2 year contract most likely. And if you cancel and move out before before the 2 years pass by, you will pay cancellation fee, which in my case was maybe $800. And yeah, so the deposit. Let's talk about in depth about that. So theoretically, you pay this money, and if case something happens when you move out, they can take some portion of the money to do renovations. And as far as I know, most of the time they will find some reason to keep this money. And in my case, not only they kept all this money, they also said, they changed the wallpaper, they somehow did something with the floor and polished the floor or something. And they said, that they performed so much renovations that my deposit money didn't cover that. And they asked my guarantor, that they said, we had something like 200 more than deposits, and they bought it. So anyhow, one person, my guarantor, and I had to pay that because otherwise they would bother him, and I didn't want, this the landlord to bother this person. Um, and yeah, I think that feels like a scam to me. And the funny part is that they do this to own people, pretty much. So in my case, yeah, you need the extra money for the guarantor, but otherwise, Japanese people, regular people themselves, get the same treatment. And just compare to New Zealand. So I moved from Japan to New Zealand, and in New Zealand, all I had to pay is just 1 week deposit fee, and that's it. There's no other payment, no insurance, no You know, sometimes there's even maintenance money in Japan. You pay some extra money to because someone cleans up the shared areas in the apartment building. So yeah, it feels like a scam to be honest, and doesn't feel really nice, you know. So that's the story for today. Thanks for watching.